Book of Psalms, chapter number 1. I'll ask you a question this morning. Why would you want to trade? Why would you want to trade? Verse number 3, it says, "And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth fruit in his season, and his leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper." Who is he? Who is the he that the writer is talking about? This is God's promise to us. We as Christians in the church age, the age of grace, we have one job. That's to make Jesus look good. And I find myself in a position sometimes of not really making Jesus look good. So, "And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth fruit in his season, and his leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper." I kind of like that promise. Whatsoever I do shall prosper. If. So let's find out what the if is. Go back to verse number 1. "Blessed, happy is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly." Ungodly. We think about somebody being, just bad. We think about somebody, a situation we're in, but man, that is just ungodly. Well, that's not exactly what it means. Un means not, and godly means God. So not like God. So if God wouldn't do it, you and I shouldn't either. If we can't see God doing whatever it is we're doing, we shouldn't be doing it either. I hear parents sometimes talking about, well, we send the kids out to watch this. If the kids can't watch it, you probably shouldn't either, unless it's, it's something mature for them. But if the kids don't need to say it, you probably don't need to say it. If you're going to discipline your kids for cussing, you probably ought not to cuss. If you're going to discipline your kids for being mean and having an attitude, you probably shouldn't be mean and having an attitude. And it's kind of like it's God. If God wouldn't do it, we shouldn't probably do it either. It's just, blessed is the man, happy is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly. We think about the counsel, we think about the advice of, or the participation of, or something like that. And so, not like God. Don't do things, don't participate in things, don't encourage things that are not like God. If I can't see my God doing it, then I shouldn't be doing it. And there's a lot of things in my life, and I know you guys are mostly perfect, but there's a lot of things in my life that I can't see God doing. I can't see God riding around in his angelic cherubim infested chariot with a train horn. I mean, maybe a shofar or a big old bugle or something. But anyway, we won't go there. But so the first thing, happy is the man that walks not in the counsel of the ungodly. So if God won't do it, I shouldn't do it either. If I can't see God doing it, I shouldn't be doing it. Whatever it is. If it's watching something, if it's listening to something, if it's talking a certain way, if it's going to a certain place, if I can't see God in there doing it, if I can't see God saying it, if I can't see God listening to it, if I can't see God watching it, I shouldn't be doing it either. Next part. Not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, hanging out with the wrong group. If you can't see God being best friends with your best friends, you probably ought not be best friends with them either. If you can't see, even in Montana, there's a law. If you're with them, you're guilty as they are. It's birds of a feather flock together. How can two walk together except they be agreed? All of these verses that teach us about hanging out with the wrong group. God says, set no evil thing before your eyes. He says, don't give place to the devil. If it even appears evil, stay away from it. All of these verses that God teaches us that And remember the promise. If he, whatsoever he does, will prosper. If I want prosperity, how many of you like prosperity? Okay, about half of you. The rest of you are nuts. How many of you like to prosper? How many of you like to have plenty of money in your pocket? How many of you like to be healthy? How many of you like to have things that God has blessed you with? How many of you like to have a peaceful life? He says, whatsoever you do shall prosper if we will do these things. So why are we so stinking hard-headed that we won't do what God wants us to do? We want to do things because they're fun or because we enjoy them or whatever. It's ungodly. Now, there's things that are not ungodly that we can do that are having fun. There's lots of things we can do that are having fun. It's just like in the garden. God told me, He said, all of these trees, every single one of these trees, every bush, every plant, every vegetable, you have all you want. Just don't mess with this one. And we're going to inevitably mess with that one. I knew y'all going to hate me this morning. Y'all even quieter than normal. Most times it's like preaching in a morgue. Don't walk in the counsel of the ungodly. And don't hang out with sinners. If the people we hang out with are drinking and drugging and cussing and womanizing and all, you're in the wrong group. You flat out just in the wrong group. You need a new set of friends. You need a new set of hangers. Well, I don't want to be alone. I'd rather be alone in heaven than be in a crowd in hell. I'd rather enjoy the prosperity of God than enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season, because God's lasts all of eternity. Satan's just lasts for a little while. Oh, but it feels good. The Bible says there's a way that seems right to a man, but the end thereof is death. How do we get it through our heads? If we want the blessings of God, we have to do what God says. It ain't that difficult to say. But for whatever reason, we make it so hard to live. But God says, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. Why would you want to trade? Why would you want to trade the pleasures of sin for a season? Why would you want to trade that group of friends for the fellowship of God? Why would we want to do the things that are ungodly and break fellowship with the God who can bless us, the God who can walk with us, the God who can heal us, the God who can get us out of danger, the God who can bless us financially, the God who can bless our marriages, our family, our home, our health? Why would we want to trade what the devil has to offer for what God has prepared for us? Why would you want to trade? We do. Every single one of us. Every single one of us. On a daily basis. We make the decision to trade off God's blessings. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners. You say, well, I ain't got nobody to hang out with. So? But I need a friend for what? I've said it for years. Friends are overrated. Do you realize that you get hurt more by your friends than anybody else? Do you realize that you get stabbed in the back by your friends more so than anybody else? Do you realize that you get disappointed more by your friends than you do? Now, every once in a while you get a good friend. But you have to be in agreement. You have to be, how can two walk together except they be agreed? Jesus had some close friends. Mary, Martha, Lazarus, they were close friends. But they were all serving God together. They were all going toward God together. They were all worshiping God together. Paul and Silas, Barnabas and John Mark. You can have a great friend, but you need to choose your friends wisely. Because Amnon had a friend too. I think I've told you about him. He convinced him to rape his sister. See, your friends will talk you into doing stupid stuff. Your friends will talk you into doing things that you know God wouldn't be caught dead doing. Your friends will encourage you to be like them. And which one would you rather be like? Your friends that are going to hell or God? And this next one hits me because I come in contact with so many people who are guilty of this one. And on occasion, so am I. Nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. You know what that really means? Gripers, complainers. We complain about everything. I hate the wind. I hate working in the wind. Friday, when it was pouring down rain, I sat out there working on my voice. Don't bother me a bit. Soak me. Just like having an outdoor shower. The wind blows, I'm going in the house. I'm going into the shelter. I don't like the wind. I don't like working in the wind. I was trying to hang my gates out on my property the other day where a tornado tore them off. Friggin' wind kept blowing my gate out of my hand. I tell Rose out there, she next day she came out and tried to help me a little bit. I hate that thing. When I came in the house, she said, "Wait, did you get it fixed?" No, I didn't get it fixed. Stupid wind. And the weather has to be absolutely perfect. I mean, perfect for Rose to go outside. If it's too cold, she ain't going outside. If it's too hot, she ain't going outside. If it's sun shining, she ain't going outside. If it's cloudy, she ain't going outside. I mean, I ain't sure God even made a perfect day for Rose yet. But we complain. We complain when it's hot. We complain when it's cold. We complain when it's windy. We complain when it's hot and dry. We complain when it's cold and wet. We complain. We complain when the grass is growing. We complain when the grass ain't growing. We complain. We complain. We gripe all the time. There used to be. We had a revival here one time. And 2 people were saved that night. And after 2 people were saved, that night, in the revival meeting, God's presence, God's Spirit working in lives, somebody come up to me and said, "That preacher's too loud." But if you talk to him, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. I got my hearing aid, but the preacher's too loud. I had somebody tell me one time about the internet. "Well, I don't like listening to that preacher. He's too loud." You ain't got volume button on your thing? Idiots. We complain about idiots. We cry. I mean, we complain about stupid people, don't we? Yeah. You know what? Somebody else is complaining about you the same way. But we catch it. I think some people aren't happy unless they're complaining. They're not happy unless they're miserable. And they want everybody around them miserable. Bryson come in this morning, and I asked him how did it go yesterday, or Rose asked him how did it go yesterday. Not good. What was wrong? Y'all fussing and fighting? Was it Ty? No, it wasn't Ty. Was it Tiffany? No, it wasn't Tiffany. Well, what was the problem? It was me and Dad. Well, so what was wrong? Were y'all fighting? Nope, we just bad. We just mad. Well, what were you mad about? Everything.
You tell us the truth.
We go to Billy's. We complain about people sitting too long in the stoplight.
Yes.
We complain about the idiots that pull over in the passing lane and slow down in front of us.
Yes.
We gripe, we complain. And God says, be thankful in everything. God said, I mean, do you realize how many commandments we break with this? God says, rejoice. Boom, that one gone. God says, and again I say rejoice. Boom, that one gone. The fruit of the Spirit, love, joy, peace. Boom, 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 we gone. How do we ever expect to be whatsoever He doeth shall prosper if we don't do what He says for us to prosper? We hang out with the wrong people. We take advice from the wrong people. We're hanging out with groups and going to places we ought not to go and listening to things we ought not to listen to and partaking of things we ought not to be partaking of. And God says, if you want to be blessed, leave that crap alone.
No.
So obviously we're saying, don't keep your blessings. God don't want them. My business is going down the hill, but you keep them. I don't need them. Because I got to have my pleasure. I got to have my fun. I got to hang out with the wrong people. I got to do the wrong things. I got to talk the wrong way. And I got to have a real bad attitude. But I want friends. God, well, to be friendly, to have a friend, you got to show yourself friendly. You want to run around like a rocket all the time. Be all grumpy all the time. Every time I'm like, how you doing? Ask them how they doing. I'm fine. And you know if they're female and fine, they lying right off the bat. You ask a female how they doing, they say fine, you better back up 3 steps. Because you're fixing to get hit. But he says, if God wouldn't do it, me and you ought not to do it either. What'd you do this past week that God wouldn't do? Don't do it out loud. We're on the internet, don't say this stuff out loud. If God wouldn't do it, you shouldn't do it. I shouldn't do it. Who do you hang out with? Who do you spend most of your time with? Who's your bestie? But then this last one, it just really gets me. Because I ain't got no friends, so I don't have to worry about that one. But the last one about complaining. That was a tough one. Nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. You ever met somebody that ain't happy about nothing? Nothing's ever good enough. Ain't nothing ever gone right in your entire life. Everything's bad. Rose has learned how in the last year to use Amazon. Wow. And she gets these recipes, and she sees these people. You know how they make all that food, that nasty food, and they make it look good. And so she goes to the store. She does her little snap click on the recipe. I told her the other day, I said, you stop printing recipes on my printer. That ink is $112. I think you quit printing recipes on stuff you ain't even gonna like. You take a picture of it, take your phone into the grocery store. But she goes in there and she gets all these different ingredients. Gets all these weird stuff. You need meat and potatoes. That's it. You don't need all that other junk. And she goes in there and she gets all that stuff and she brings it home and she cooks and she cooks and she cooks and she cooks. And I just go ahead and make me sound, I know what she's cooking ain't gonna be fit to eat. But she just makes it and then she gets over and it takes forever to make a meal. Just put something in your mouth and go about your business. But she gotta have this over there, this over here, and that over there, and it's just whatever. But then she sits down over there and that don't taste like they made it look. It looked better than it tastes. So he goes in the trash can. And then she gets on Amazon. Oh man, that's so pretty. And she'll get it. Thank God that Amazon got a return policy. She'll get it, she bring it out. And she goes upstairs and tries it on order. Next thing I know, she's printing. What you printing on it? A return label. It don't fit me like it did on the internet. That's why they have stores where you go and you try it on. What? That don't even work either. Went to Shields the other day. Got her $112 pair of pants. Looked like sheepskin. Weird stuff. And then thank God she didn't take tags off of them. She put them on. Oh man, I like these. They're just a little bit snug, but they'll be all right. And what? You got them in February 23rd she got them. So Friday she goes up there and tries them on again. And they fell off of her. Got to take them back. We're never satisfied. It'd be raining, we want it dry. It'd be dry, we want it raining. It'd be winter, we wanted summer. We complain all the time. We complain about people. Did you see what they did? Did you see what they did? Gabby was talking about a prayer request a while ago. One of the parents. Complain. If it's all that bad, take your kids somewhere else. If it ain't good enough for you, don't bring your child there. Don't come in my door and complain about my food and then fill your face up with it. Well, this show ain't good. Well, slow down the eating. Go over there, eat some of Candy's. I'm sorry, eat some of Brantley's blueberry muffins. Yeah, Brantley, this thing tastes nasty. Worst thing I ever had to eat in my life. You eat 6 of them. But we complain about our spouses. No, nobody here.
Silence.
Rose doesn't ever complain about me. You ain't really gonna wear that, are you? No, I just covered it up so you can pick me out something to wear, baby. Didn't even think about me wearing anything on my own. You gonna let your hair look like that? Got it. Had to get the hair in.
Those are just statements. That's not complaining.
Thank you.
Oh, really?
Complaining would be like,
It's
"Nah,
passionate
don't
very
like
sick.
it enough," but-
Nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. Gripers, complaining. We rob ourselves of blessing. We rob ourselves of whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. By hanging out with the wrong people, by not doing things that God wants us to do, and for complaining and griping all the time. I want the blessings of God. Don't y'all? Two of you. No wonder. Well, complain on. You don't even want them enough to say so.
Say it again, then.
Do you want the blessings of God or not?
Amen. Yes, yes.
I think this side is still asleep.
They are.
Really? I said yes the first time.
Too much responsibility.
Well, but you're in the middle. You don't count. You can't make up your mind which side you want to be on. You sit right in the middle. You got 3 of you sitting right in the middle. But I mean, do we want to be blessed by God? Do we want to be prosperous? Do we want God's best?
Yes.
Then why don't we do it God's way? Because what? Don't do like a 3-year-old. Because why?
Because we forget.
No, we don't.
Because we are busy.
Part of it.
Because sometimes I forget I shouldn't complain. It just feels good to say complain. And I'm like, oh yeah, I should do that.
Does it really make us feel better to complain? Or does it make us even more miserable?
More miserable.
Does it really make us, as a born again child of God, supposedly making Jesus look good, does it really make us feel better to hang out with that people we hang out with? Does it really make us feel better to do the things that we know God would not do?
No.
I had a guy one time talking about, well, drinking's okay. I don't have a problem with drinking. I said, well, grab your Budweiser, go sit down on the front row of the church, and crack open one for you and crack open one for God and say, this Bud's for you, Lord. If God wouldn't do it, you shouldn't either. If God wouldn't watch that TV series that you were watching, you shouldn't either. Rose tickles me with her TV programs or her TV series. She got that remote with the fast forward on there, and it'll get to one of them places where God shouldn't be watching it. And so she'll just fast forward. So she can just look at it real quick. But the things we listen to. Oh, got this joke for you. The TV programs that we listen to, there's one cuss word right after the other. Remember what you put in is supposed to come out of the heart, man, speaking. You see, the devil has 2 access points for us. And the way he gets to us, our hearts and our brains and everything else, is through our eyes and through our ears. And it makes it, because the things that we look at, they stay. Those mental pictures stay. And the things that we hear, I mean, how many of you remember the commercial jingles on TV from ages ago? You know? That's why in elementary school, a lot of times they teach the alphabet and things like that by sing-song stuff, you know? It's the eyes and the ears. And so Satan is going to make sure that he puts stuff out there. I was on computer the other day, and this I don't know if it was Reels or TikTok or whatever it was. I don't have TikTok, so it couldn't have been that. But anyway, this thing comes up, and it's this girl who is an attractive girl, and she had on a top that was, you know, way down low and bronzed and firm and all that kind of stuff. And she was cutting up peppers and cabbage or something. And then the caption after that was, because it flashed her up on the screen and she was cutting and stuff, and it said, what vegetables was she cutting up? Yeah, and that's what the devil wants. Boom, you know, because I'll be honest, I had to go back and look again to see what vegetables she was cutting up.
Right.
But if God wouldn't do it, I shouldn't either. I mean, when he made woman, he did a really good job. Never been attracted to a gorilla. I mean, it's like Adam. You know, nothing was found suitable for him in all the garden.
Right.
So, you know, they were checking it out. You know, the little baboons and chimpanzees and giraffes and elephants and whatever else. But there was nothing. And so God did a really good job on the woman. But Satan uses that
Yes.
to tear a lot of men down. Because the lust of the eyes. The lust of the eyes, that thing that gets to us. And I was a porn addict. And so it's even harder for me to stay away from that kind of stuff. To make a determination. Because you can't avoid it. You walk through the grocery store line. I don't know if they do it anymore or not, but they used to have all those magazines right up front. And years ago, back in the C-stores and things like that, back behind the counter on the wall, they had all the Playboys and the Hustlers and all of that stuff behind the counter. And so, you know, you'd spend all kinds of time counting out change up there at the counter so you could stand there and look for a while. Oh yeah, but that's what Satan does. And God says, if you want my blessings, it's like David when he's looking at Bathsheba up on the rooftop. If he'd have just caught a glimpse and went on back in the house, he'd have been fine. But that lingered look took away the blessings of God. And too many of us, we do the same stinking thing with our complaining and our griping. You know, if the guy hadn't pulled out in front of me and slowed me down, I might have got in an accident down the road. But that ain't the way I felt. Rose is sitting over there in the passenger seat with her head covered up because I was not that far from the guy's bumper. And one thing, I think even God would get mad about this one. But those semi-drivers that you go to pass them and they want to come over there in your lane, try to run you off the road. I don't know what it is with semi-drivers that don't know where that white line goes. It goes beside the truck, not under it. But it's we go in the store, we complain. You go in Lowe's, you walk around for a half hour looking for somebody to help you. Why are they there to help you? You go over to Home Depot and you got 20 people bothering the mess out of you, wanting to help you. I go to Home Depot. Plug for Home Depot on the internet. But we complain about everything. Preachers used to gripe and preach against people working on Sunday. It's a sin to work on Sunday. And I agree, it is. But then they're the first ones in the buffet line at the restaurant. And if it ain't cooked and ready to go, they're going to complain about it. The ungodly, verse number 40, the ungodly are not so. They're like the chaff which the wind drives away. Y'all ever watch these balers and combines and stuff out here? And the big dust clouds that are blowing up behind them? That's what the Bible says that the ungodly, we're just blowing in the wind. We're just a big dust cloud. We ain't good for nothing. The kernels go down inside the combine and they use it for all kinds of stuff. But the chaff, you just blow it out. That's the reason all this, the straw bales and stuff out in the field, they just give it away. The only thing it's good for is for pooping on. Put it in cow beds and stuff like that. Filler food. Not good for anything, just filler food. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight, his joy, his excitement is in the law of the Lord. No, our excitement is in dark winds and FBI and crime stories and Hallmark movies. No, God says our desire is in the Word of God. In the preaching and reading and listening to the Word of God, the law of the Lord. And he doth meditate day and night. How much time did we spend last week in the book versus how much time we spent in the TV and the YouTube and the TikToks and Reels and Snapchats? And how much do we compare? Go on your history sometime and see what your last 27 pages are. God says, and it's our choice. God says it's your choice. I'm not going to force you into it, but whatsoever you do shall prosper if you do these things. I think we just don't want to prosper. Y'all all lied at the beginning of service. Y'all said you wanted to prosper. But we do things that God don't do. Don't we? Is there anybody in here that don't do bad stuff sometimes? And I'm not saying all the time. Anybody? Nobody? I mean, even babies lie. They say something wrong when they. Is anybody here that never hangs out with the wrong people? I mean, I know some of us ain't got no choice. We're married to them. Or they're married to us. And the one that just really just gets me is the griping and complaining. I put my food in the microwave, heat it up, and then complain because it's hot. But that's what we do. We complain about everything. I tell you what, this afternoon, when we let out of here finally, and we go about our business this afternoon, put your little sketch pad or your phone or your notes or something, and keep up with how many times you complain about something. And it will surprise you how much we complain. And God says, if I want to prosper, I got to quit that. I mean, hanging out with the sinners, I don't have a problem not doing that. Doing things that are not godly, I don't have a big problem with that. I still have some words that God, well, I don't know, God probably used them too. But that complaining one, that griping, that dissatisfaction with the way things are. We complain about the government. We complain about our city officials. We complain about the weather. We complain about the clothes we wear. I mean, I wouldn't, only one person said anything about them. I went and got me a new pair of shoes the other day. I had somebody the other week tell me I don't like those shoes. So I went and spent $160 on a pair of shoes so they'd be happy. And they ain't said nothing about them yet. Okay, my shoes got one. And she ain't the one to complain about them to begin with. But I complain because I got new shoes. They don't fit like my old ones. I like my old ones. I'm going to go home and put my old ones on. I figure I can wear these because I only got to wear them one time a week. They go old school. These are my Sunday shoes.
Yes, that's right.
But I tell you what, the challenge, the invitation challenge this afternoon. It's not an altar call today. It's not a salvation message today. It's for us as Christians today. Keep up with how much you complain about, how much you gripe about this afternoon. And if you don't run out of memory on your phone, you can stretch it on into tomorrow. And if you need another notepad, they sell it by the ream at the Family Dollar store. Anyway. Did any of this do you any good, or y'all just still mad at me? Because I know it's something we don't think about. And God says, if you want my blessings, you got to do things my way. And He's not going to force us to do it. It's your choice. You'll be miserable, be miserable. And I really don't. I've met some folks that I don't think they're happy unless they're miserable. And so, anyway.